65 to 93.
That's too dang hot.
Coming up with the Wade and Carter show, we will talk Cowboys, Aggies, Horns, Astros, politics, and a whole lot more. Plus, we'll visit with Claude Jacobs and discuss the Blue Bonnet Youth Ranch. All that and more coming up in today's Wade and Carter show.
Is Claude coming in?
Yeah.
What a bonus. It's like that lip.
Yeah, it's not
working.
lippy.
How do we fix that?
I don't know.
It affects YouTube.
With another shim.
Y'all just missed the best part of the show.
Yeah, that's it. We're going home now.
That's a great one, Ash. Thanks a lot. Happy Monday, folks. There's no guarantee of a full hour.
No, enjoy the day. We'll be back tomorrow.
We'll call you. How are you, sir?
Something's going on here. I can't quite figure out today.
Do we not have? I don't appear to have.
I don't know. Trying to get there.
I'm good.
No, you're good.
Something's not
happening it's
there.
Not going up the other channel. I don't know.
It's like we're going out in mono or something.
It might be mono a mono.
Right. That means like person against person. I don't hardly hear it on the headphones.
It's okay. You're standing next to me.
Right.
We can hear each other. Happy belated birthday, by the way.
Thank you. Just another day, but a great one. We had a great weekend. Of course, you and I saw each other twice this weekend, which is rare.
All weekend together.
It was great. Donnie did a great job putting together groups and events. It was very, very nice. I was very feted and very happy. Had a great time with some good folks.
Stuff just doesn't happen that much anymore.
No. We just can get together and relax and do not much. Why do you think that we're like dead in the water here?
I don't know.
The microphone not where it needs to be?
It's not the mic.
Does it have a hot spot?
No, I don't know what it is, but I don't know something's not working.
Something's not right. Let's just look for a second because you're pretty good at that.
So, yeah, I thought I had it figured out, but I don't. So I don't know. Oh well.
As long as you folks can hear us, we're good. That's all that really matters. Somebody give us a comment down there. There you are. People can see us. I hope they can hear us. Somebody said something about the sound up there at the top. What does it say?
Do roll call real quick.
Sweet.
Actually, no, we got to do this real quick.
Oh, forgot about that. The Wade and Carter weather brought to you by our great friends at Deerland Feed. I have an update for you.
Okay.
I went by and bought the Victoria blend. I think it's a 21-7-14
fertilizer
at Deerland Feed, and my neighbor and I have identical yards. We're on a cul-de-sac, and it's like one big piece of pie from my driveway to his driveway.
Yep.
And then we mow. Sometimes I mow the whole thing. Sometimes he mows the whole thing. But in general, it's just one contiguous piece of grass, right?
Right.
I fertilized mine. He did not. And his yard gentleman came over yesterday and said, "What did you do to your yard?" And I'm not exaggerating. It's still not too late. I mean, it was Labor Day would have been better, but it is noticeable that the yard is has popped. This time of year, your yard gets distressed, and you'll start seeing the grass will get a little more yellow in it, a little bit paler green.
And
then you could, we ain't doing that. I've done that. That's really cute the first week of winter. After that, it's just a every other day mowing mess.
Exactly.
But my neighbor's got some spots that I just don't have. And there were some weeds in the yard that my St. Augustine has just literally choked out.
It's because your neighbor's out there peeing in the middle of the night.
Right? He's a doctor, man. Don't say that. But I did go by Deerland Feed to get that. It's 65 degrees in Victoria, going to a high today of like 93-ish.
It's going to be warmer.
So it's going to be a warm day. You want to probably stay indoors if you need to. If you're old, fat, or sick, stay home. Don't get COVID.
Wear a mask if you're out by yourself, like they were doing. I don't know where it was.
Yeah. You hear these stories all the time, and I'm sorry, you hear them all the time of, so-and-so got sick and then they died. Well, we didn't tell you they were diabetic. We didn't tell you this. We didn't tell you that. It's like, okay, I mean, I get it. There are people who just simply should not get COVID. You have to avoid it actively, constantly avoid it. I've had it twice. I'm over it.
You haven't had it twice.
I have had it twice.
Twice.
Well, so you tell me if I had it twice. The first time you knew that I had it. We were both sick in bed for 10 days, like laid up, tired, worn out. Then Caden got it. And all of a sudden I started feeling droopy again. And Dawn lost her sense of taste and smell again.
Dawn probably had it.
We had it.
You didn't test.
Because I tested Dawn. I was close. Chances are good I got it. Either that or I had immunity to it because I'm just such a hammer.
Maybe. Or you're just hungover for the entire week.
Could be. Tito's trumps COVID. If that came out to be true, if vodka trumped COVID,
buy shares now.
Biden would probably find a way to poo-poo that.
Probably.
By the way, sad week for Victoria. A great friend of ours and a really all-around good guy who happened to be a sheriff's deputy. Philip Barone passed away last week.
Was he still a?
He was a resource officer at West High School and super good guy.
Great guy.
Baseball umpire. Really because he enjoyed being around the kids.
Stuff.
Yeah, that's the deal. I used to, every time I would do a game or something, I would say, "Hey, Philip Barone's not doing this for the money, folks. He's doing this because he cares about your kids." But he had COVID, but then had some complications later that were not that whatever you did there that mattered, that were not related to COVID, and passed unexpectedly. So there's going to be a visitation for Philip on October the 4th. I might be making this up. I think it's at Rosewood. October the 4th it's like all day, Saturday, 9 to 6, and then there's going to be because Friday's the 8th, so it's like Tuesday.
4th is Saturday. No, that's September.
Yeah,
4th is Monday.
And then there'll be a graveside funeral on Tuesday, like at 10 o'clock in the morning out at Memory Gardens. But great guy. Just want to give a shout out to the family, and I know I talked to Sheriff Marr about it last week, and he
Friday morning that hit me.
He was pretty upset. Yeah. I mean, it's a tremendous loss to the department or the office
and to the community.
Great guy,
good guy,
great guy,
absolutely.
Yep. So sorry to see him go,
and sorry for the family.
Yes, sir. I didn't let you finish your roll call, and I apologize.
I hadn't even started it yet.
Wow.
David Glass, good morning. Rob Moore Knipling is in. Diana Hawes, J. Mark Jameson, Marvin Mickish, Christina Wise. We're huge in Denver this morning. There's Justin Glass, Tom Price, good morning. Clint Ives, Judge Posey, good morning. Karen Webb is in.
Hi,
Kendra
Judge.
Douglas.
Commissioner, good morning, sir.
Scott Snow, wishing you a happy belated birthday. We don't do that on this show, Tom.
Nah, we would never do that, but thanks, Tom.
Lisa Poole, good morning. There's Bobby Leister and the Leisterometer holding steady to 1,003. Patrick Strauss saw Patrick and his lovely wife Lori over the weekend.
I just saw Patrick. I got to speak to Lori too. I remember now because I was asking about the red hat ladies in the Yoakum. Yeah, she hit me in the red basket. Yeah.
She packs a pretty. If I recall, she punched me too for something. I don't know.
Yeah, came in with that right wing and poked me.
Amanda Smith King, good morning. Natalie Mayer's in. Says Christina Wise says everything sounds good here. That's good. Janelle Sarles, good morning. Randy Langston is in. Chris Conrad, good morning. Rena Scherer.
Hi, Rena.
Saw Rena and Calvin Friday night. Had a good time at Wild About Wine. We'll talk about that a little bit. Jeremy Pena, good morning. We're huge in South Carolina. Kevin Myers, good morning. Kevin just threw himself back into the frying pan that is Austin, Texas. We feel for you, man.
Wow. Sorry, bud. Like permanently? Like to live?
Yeah. He lived up there.
Bless his heart.
Left the farm behind. Monica Jost, good morning.
Next thing you know, old Keeves a millionaire. Ken folks said, "Hey, move away from there."
Terry Murray.
Austin, Texas is the place you ought to be.
There's my grandson, Graydon. He got mad the other day when the show ended and he can no longer watch us.
There you go. That's how lots of folks are that way.
Reynold Conchola, good morning. Bobby Sparkman. Stephen Kidder. Stuart Martin. Lorena Bargenbrook. There's Marty Stockbauer. Torrin Bales, good morning. Saw Torrin a couple times over the weekend. Adam
I did
Daughtry.
too. Super nice gentleman.
There's Missy Yearwood. Ran into her Friday night. Wild About Wine. That was a fun event. I don't recall ever being at one of those in the past, and I really enjoyed that.
That was
Fundraiser
good.
for the zoo, Texas Zoo. Had a lot of fun. It was good.
So I think it's a good
Might
time.
be video of me singing with the band on
Well,
Friday
not
night.
only that, but there was, they're singing shout.
Shout.
You make me want to shout.
Isaac
Little
Brothers, I
something
think,
down.
right? But this
Little
is
something
more
down.
the Otis Day and the Nights, right? From Animal
Otis,
House.
my man, right? So Ash is going down. Yeah, he's going down. And all of a sudden, Ash is on his back on the ground, and he says to me, "Look at me. I'm the only one who got on the ground." And I go, "That's because we're dancing on the yard. There's grass underneath you."
That's why I went on the ground. It's softer than anything else.
It was good.
There's Heather Monroe. Good morning. We're huge in Toronto this morning. Brent Anderson.
Zip. Good morning, brother. Zippy.
But I want to give a hat off to because I only wear one, but you could give your hat off too. But Steve Klein and the Cannonball Express run that was
huge
here.
Event.
That was a lot of fun. I went by, saw the motorcycles, talked to one rider. He was just sweating when he came in because he rolled in, heavy pants, sweatshirt. Look,
well, they started in North Dakota.
Well, yeah, I mean, but that was it. He goes, man, it was cold this morning, and he rolls in. It's like 90 degrees in Victoria, but those bikes were cool.
There was a bike, and I told Steve. I said, first, I told him thanks for having us. And
I think the Flying Merkel that was on display is only one of two in the world, and I was told that the other one is owned by Jay Leno.
Is that right? And I did not see that bike.
No,
but I'll tell you that as I went down the line, I noticed a what do you call it? A demarcation point, like a place where things changed. In 1928, the Harley Davidson had developed the more round teardrop tank and the bigger front tire with the big fender. It looked
like a Harley,
like a modern motorcycle in 1928. It had a V twin motor.
Yep.
So in a lot of ways, people are still riding around on a 1920s motorcycle. It's just been evolved. Yeah. But the prettiest bike I saw was a 1917 Henderson A. And it had a long oval, like maybe 18 inches long and about 3 inches tall, flat tank. And on where the footboards were, they'd had footboards that were 18 inches long that said Henderson down them.
Cool.
It was a black bike with all kinds of red pinstripes on it. It was gorgeous.
I don't think that one was there when I was there.
I told Mr. Klein, I said, that Henderson A, he goes, stop, $250,000 motorcycle. He goes, it figures you would pick out.
Yeah, the most expensive.
Yeah, and it was ridden. I mean, the guy was racing it. It wasn't flawless. It wasn't, a trailer queen. But it was just an amazing looking motorcycle.
And I think it's the Henderson, if I'm not mistaken, that had like the inline 4-cylinder engine.
Yeah, it had the four pipes coming off the right side.
There were a few Hendersons in there, but I was like
little bitty exhaust pipes too, like little bitty cylinders.
Who would have thought like in 1911 these bikes would have inline 4-cylinder engines on them?
It's crazy.
A lot of them had 1-cylinder engines.
But let me tell you what it does show you. A couple of things it shows you is that with a little ingenuity and a little passion, you can do a lot of things in Victoria, Texas. Steve Klein, I told him yesterday, my guess is I saw 1,500 people out there. There were car enthusiasts.
Yep.
Hats off to you. My buddy Tim Hermes. Tim's got
maybe if I saw him yet.
Tim's got I don't want to offend him. I think it's a 1970 LS6 454 big block Chevelle Super Sport. And it's in that deep green.
Mm-hmm.
And he got the Good Guys Car Magazine. He got some kind of national award for that vehicle is going to be in their magazine and in their Hot Rod Tour of Texas. Yeah, it's a huge compliment. It was a big deal. But it reminds me of, if we're going to do ever anything akin to Boot Fest again,
Boat Fest.
Why don't
coming
we
up
try to
October
get
8th.
Why don't we try to get Steve Klein on that
board?
I mean, he had everything was running like a clock. Jerry James was playing his stuff. You had the bikes lined up where they
Well, I think
needed
Joel
to
Nova
be.
saw it. I mean, he gave a big shout out to him. But I saw Joel out there on Friday. But what I liked about that event, that's an event that actually puts heads in beds. Those folks are all staying in
Absolutely.
hotels, and that did what
Which
it's
one is
designed
it?
to do. It's
This
that one, yes, sir.
Good morning, caller. Who you got? Thank you. It was yesterday, but it's good. I appreciate that.
Thank you. You want to add anything else? I think they're gone.
Nope, they're gone.
That's it.
Thank you. It's Mom, go back to bed. No, not really.
Kelly
Thank you for
Frommie
that.
says she was in traffic on Saturday morning as they were going over the bridge into Rockport, and she said they were filming themselves. You could see the joy in their faces.
Awesome.
Pretty cool. There's Funky Trey Molina. Good morning to you, Funk.
In another story, a lady in a Range Rover ran 14 vintage motorcycles into the Copanoe Bay.
No, she was probably in a 1970 Ford Bronco with the top off.
Right?
AJ Villanueva, good morning to
She
you,
was
sir.
in a 74 Bronco with her top off.
Yeah. With the top off.
Is it clothing optional in Rockport these
Yes.
days? No wonder real estate's so high down
I
there.
see so many pineapples.
The thing I will tell you, JP, hold on, folks, I'm going to take a quick break and tell you, Razor IT Solutions. Razor can do all kinds of things for you. One thing, I reached out to JP the other day and said, if we're not going to have Boot Fest, why don't we just have Boat Fest? So that party, the Rump the Yaunt party on Friday.
68 Bronco, I was close.
On Friday, October 8th at Club Westerner, where you should be, $10 a head. Come in, have a beer, come in, bring your own bottle.
Buy tickets on our
yourselves.
Facebook page. It's
Yes.
right there.
Good morning, Sheriff Louderback. You can go right to the Facebook page and buy the ticket like a la Venmo or PayPal or something. You've got it.
Eventbrite. It's right there.
Do it. Go do that now and come back. I told JP, I said, we ought to maybe try to find a way to buy the domain name BoatFest. Now, boatfest.com was taken, but JP searched and found boatfest.vip.
See, that's just so much better.
It's more yachty.
It is.
So boatfest.vip, we don't have anything there, but we own it. We own it. Razor IT Solutions can do that for you. Allen's Wrecker Service, 578-6300. Let Allen do all your towing. It's just that simple. It doesn't matter if you've got a big truck or a 1968 Bronco and you've got your top off.
Or a 1911 Henderson.
Call Allen's Wrecker Service. The VCS company saw one of the helpful people at that event was Jennifer Hartman. She had been out there helping with the catering and doing some stuff there. And Ms. Hartman and the folks at VCS can help you with all your communication needs. Reach out to them. Chesney Furniture.
116 West Lawn. Cowboys play tonight. Not too late to go get a recliner. Yep.
Get a recliner today and watch the Cowboys tonight. It's just that easy. 101 years, 71 plus in their current location.
Call Veracruz at lunch, 576-6015, and get an enchilada casserole to take home to watch the game with.
Absolutely. Veracruz today, Veracruz for lunch. It's kind of become a Monday tradition. We have to get back in there. So
it was an everyday tradition for you last week.
It was. Like I fell into a plate of enchiladas.
Oh, no, not last week because you were gone
before.
the week before. Yeah. Forgot you were gone. So
who was that called and said, I'm glad you got rid of that Carter guy?
I don't know. But it sounded similar to the person that just called and wished you happy birthday.
Right. That's interesting.
It is. They're bipolar. Like you one day, they don't like you the next.
It's like a wife. They like you one day and don't like you the next. It's just that simple.
Iceman says it wasn't him.
No, good morning, Ice.
Good morning to you, Ice. It was a positive Sunday. Cowboys didn't lose. Texans didn't lose.
That's right. The Texans already lost on Thursday, and the Cowboys are going to play the Eagles tonight. Monday Night Football should be.
From Jerry World.
I'm back on the Kool-Aid, man. I mean, the only people, and I'm glad Claude Jacobs is coming in here because the only people more fickle or more prone to sway are the Aggies. And we'll get Claude's comment on what he thinks about college football. I know what he's thinking about this morning, thinking about that total domination by the United States in the Ryder Cup. I don't know how, and we'll get your opinions on this in a minute, sir. But if you're John Rahm and you're the leader of the European team, I don't know what you tell your team when they're going to play Brooks Koepka and Schauffele and Spieth and DeChambeau and all these basically young guns. That, I mean, Dustin Johnson, he's the oldest guy out there. Dustin Johnson, right?
Yes.
You got Justin Thomas. Those guys are all early 30s at worst. I mean,
is that 3 in a row or 4 in a row?
I don't know. You know, it used to be everyone in a row forever. Yeah, it used to be like the U.S. was like the Yankees.
Yeah.
But now, you know, I mean.
Well, because there was nobody. The only one that was playing for Europe was Seve Ballesteros back then.
Well, you know, the only one that played for Europe this time and a guy that I've really grown to care for is Ian Poulter. I didn't used to like him. He was an easy guy to hate, mostly because of my ignorance regarding Ryder Cup play. He's passionate about Ryder Cup. And as a result, he comes off as kind of a jerk. He did not like his mates being booed at past venues and was willing to fight about it. And but he's a guy that gets Ryder Cup. You know, while the American players, many of whom didn't even start, it's amazing how many professional golfers didn't even start till they were like, well, I was in junior high and my dad had a set of sticks and I picked them up. You know, I was pretty good at it. Americans are all playing video games while kids like Sergio are looking at kids like a gentleman like Seve and going, man, I can't wait to be that guy. And it was really telling yesterday watching Sergio Garcia just milk his grip like he does, like it's an old cow. And he's standing there beating driver. And DeChambeau's cutting the corner with a 3-wood and outdrives him by about 30 yards. And you just go, you can't beat him, Sergio. He's too young, too strong, and too long. I think the U.S. dominates Ryder Cup play for the next 3 or 4. And if they don't, they got some explaining to do, Lucy.
I'll say this. I think that's one area where these younger players have made huge strides, because when Tiger Woods burst on the scene, everybody just wanted to hit it long. They forgot about their short game. Now they've all taken the best of Tiger and the best of Phil Mickelson and combined it. These guys work as much on their short game as they do the driver, and it shows now. But for years, they could care less. They just wanted to outdrive everybody, right?
Well, then you had a guy like, what's his name?
I don't know. There's only 156 of them on tour.
Fijian, older guy.
Oh, Vijay Singh?
Vijay was the guy that said, bomb and gouge. You know, I'm just going to hit it as far as I can. And these venues have all gotten easier. We're going to go, if we end up in the rough, when we're in the rough, and we'll go and find a way to get it down the course. But yeah, I agree 100% that the talent, there were a lot of shots yesterday in the singles matches that were just spectacular. In the partners game, or the every other shot, alternate shot. There you go. Justin Thomas hits one like greenside into the muck, and Spieth knocks it up on the green to about 4 feet and ends up losing his balance and runs about 50 yards down to the shore of Lake Michigan. And when he comes back up, he gets there in time to watch Justin Thomas miss the putt. So I was like, hey, thanks a lot. I'm working awful hard here, JT. You're getting heavy. It is funny, though, that with golf predominantly being an individual sport, it's funny to me how much the media really forces the team narrative onto these guys. It's like, you know, how do you know? And they never ask Jose Altuve, how did it feel to be in that locker room after that great walk-off home run? Well, you know, me and my teammates, we did this, we did that. It's not like that at all. With golfers, like, well, you know, I just looked around the room and those men lost a lot of good men out there, but we toughed it. It was a gritty win for the U.S. It's not. It's still golf. It's golf. And those guys are all still thinking. I mean, DeChambeau still doesn't like Koepka. That's just the way it is.
But they pulled it together.
It's like Bench and Rose back in the day.
Well, that's why they put him on the other sides of the locker room.
There you go. Now, look, we're in the presence of royalty. We should get this gentleman on the air because he's probably got to get to Ramsey's by 7:45. You know, got to get over there. How do you want your eggs? Pureed. You know, he's got to get there. They're looking for him somewhere at 8
Chris
o'clock
Conrad
this
says, what
morning.
about Bryson's 417-yard drive?
Yeah, Bryson.
Couldn't hit it 420. I mean,
how does he do that? Call with that arm like that? He's just so physical.
It's all leverage and hips.
Claude's like, I hit at 250. I'll give him 2 aside. Playing for his rent.
Come on up, sir. This is your mic.
You know, let's get him a little airtime.
Yeah, we'll get
He's
him
just
some
so awesome. How are you, great sir?
Good morning.
You good?
I'm good. The comments y'all are making about the Ryder Cup were right on. But, you know, there's one other thing, and that is that crowd, that USA crowd. That can be intimidating.
No doubt.
And
Like,
they showed up this year.
Yeah, they did.
it's like
They showed up.
like the Oklahoma home football crowd screaming at their quarterback, give us Caleb. It sounded like it reminded me of, we want Barabbas. They were like so mad at Christ. They wanted Barabbas. And they were so mad at Spencer Rattler in Oklahoma this weekend that they were going, the student section was going, we want Caleb. We want Caleb. But I'm glad to see.
That's what I was hearing on Friday when you returned to the studio.
Yes,
We want
that's
Caleb.
true. That happens here a lot. There's picketers outside.
But
But
it was a great weekend for the USA.
now, have you played that course?
No.
It was at Kohler. Is that where they were? Where were they?
Whispering Straits, I think is where.
Okay.
I went to the Ryder Cup. It was in Syracuse years and years ago, and there was, to put this one into perspective to that one, there's no comparison. The crowd years ago was not. They were quiet. They were all subdued. This was intimidating.
Rowdy. You know, when I had a buddy that played in the Texas Open Pro-Am, and I went and caddied for him, and our pro was Poulter, and was amazingly, I expected nothing. Amazingly affable guy, gentleman, super nice. He's a car nut, car investor. Talk to you about anything. But he said that he loves playing at the Masters. He loves playing on the PGA Tour. He lives in Florida, has a house, an estate in England. But he said, I'd trade it all. I'd trade it all to play Ryder Cup over and over and over. He goes, the greatest time I've ever had in my life.
I think Bryson and Koepka Brooks and Bryson have put their things aside.
Have they?
They were hugging a few times, and when it was over,
That's
they
all
hugged.
it takes.
But it took Steve Stricker telling them before the match, you guys put this aside. No place for this crowd.
Yeah. No,
Good
that's
captain.
Good. No, that's good. Peter McNally said to tell you good morning. Says hi and he misses you.
Oh, Peter.
Pete's our resident liberal, but he's a great friend of the show. He's the one. He's the one.
He's
to
the
cheer
one.
for us.
The only one.
Yeah. He's the guy. He's the one guy. Like, if Pete's here,
Misery
it's
likes
balanced
company.
out. There's like 5,000 people over here and Pete, and it evens out because he's a strong liberal.
But he's solid.
Pete can play golf too.
Yeah, he
Can
can.
he? So tell us.
And he's a nice guy.
We've been talking about Blue Bonnet Youth Ranch, and you've told people the story, but take a minute and just tell them anything you want them to know. Maybe even if you want to give them a little bit of the history of the whole program, it'd be awesome.
Well, we're 49 years old this year, and it all started by accident. Actually, in 1968, when a family in Yoakum had 5 children. The husband died. They had no money, no assets whatsoever. And an attorney, Charles Quinta, came over and asked 6 of us to put up some money to take care of these children for several months while the mother was going to go to a treatment center. You know, there's a big difference now. Treatment centers today are sometimes a week to 2 weeks and have really great results. In those days, it was 2 to 3 months that they would go into a treatment center. So we were doing that, and for about, 6 weeks, and he comes in and he says, well, I've got good news and bad news. I said, what's that? He said, we need you to put some more money in for another 6 months. What do you mean 6 months? Well, my law school buddy is going to give her a free secretarial school in San Antonio. So we'll need to take care of those children, which we were paying the rent, the house. We even helped pay for the funeral, and it was just a bad situation. But the kids needed help. Well, we got filed on for a lawsuit for running a home for dependent and neglected kids.
Because no good deed goes unpunished.
No, of course not.
That's it. And that was the first indication of the problems that you can have doing good.
Yes, sir.
Going forward now, 49 years.
Same thing.
Same thing happened. We got lumped in with all of the other homes. If you have a home for dependent and neglected children, your standards and your needs are certainly different than if you are running a home for juvenile delinquents.
Right.
Or if you're running a home for kids that have had mental or emotional problems. The staffing has to be different. So we got thrown in with everybody, and we're requiring a nurse on staff. We were going to have a monitor.
Yeah, 24 hours. The kids are asleep. Somebody's got to be there. The whole deal.
Yeah, and we have parents in the house. So, and we got cut down from 40 kids to 18. We could only take 6 per cottage. So it was a real issue, and we found a program at South Texas Children's Homes had invented or put together, and we partner with them, and now we're taking care of not only children, but the children and their mothers. And that is really a blessing, because we're educating those mothers, getting them back to where they should be.
Mm-hmm.
So many of these mothers of these kids that they take away from them, they have no education. They don't have a driver's license. They have nothing.
They've been abused. They've been mistreated.
And they haven't been taught to be a parent.
Right.
Well, this program teaches them everything. So we're proud of that.
Torrin Bale says, Blue Bonnet Youth Ranch is doing great things. Judge Posey says, Claude, thank you for your many years of dedication and not only to Blue Bonnet Youth Ranch, but the entire community. And I echo that. I've been fortunate to be at so many events that your touch has been on, and I know your heart is.
There's nothing that I've ever touched in my life that other people weren't involved in.
Well, that's true. I know you always. That's what I'm saying. He always deflects the credit. And
Victoria, Texas, is one of the most generous communities.
Yes, sir.
Yoakum
Absolutely.
was too, where I was raised, and with the golf tournament, we have over 100 and some odd golf volunteers. Everything is a volunteer.
Yeah.
People help people.
I always say somebody's got to coordinate it. You've done a great job at it for a long time. I mean, I love it when I walk up and Claude goes, "Hey, come here for a second." I go, he goes, "Brent, I want you to meet Mo Bandy." So you get to meet Mo Bandy and Alan Shamlin. I've gotten to where now every time I see Alan, I go, "I know you want to be a writer. Just stay after it. One of these days you're going to have a hit." He laughs just like that. I said, "Alan, are you still taking a wheelbarrow down to the mailbox to get your mailbox money?" He said, "Nope, I bought a gator."
That's right. That is very, very true. He's been very, very successful.
Super nice, approachable, just a guy, just a super nice
So we
gentleman.
went to Nashville, and what was he doing? Parking cars.
Yeah.
First.
Yeah.
But-
That's the other thing that we talk about in life. You got to pay a price.
But his mom was raised in an orphanage, so this was something that was near and dear to him, his heart.
But everybody has to pay a price. You got to start at the bottom and work up.
Yeah.
So many people today, especially some of the younger folks, they want to start at the top.
Right.
They don't know what it is to really have something and need it.
Right. No, that's right.
No, I was involved in a conversation the other day, and I just rolled my eyes because somebody's kid wasn't happy with their iPhone 12 because the iPhone 13 was coming out. And I was just like, oh, really?
Because Ashton has his flip phone.
Yeah. So,
Well, it works, doesn't it?
no, it
Yes,
does.
sir.
That's all that matters.
And it's paid for.
Yeah. So, obviously COVID has impacted a lot of lives, but the Blue Bonnet Youth Ranch and all that you all do to raise money to keep things going has been impacted now going on 2 years.
2 years. This year, and last year, COVID set us back. Basically, COVID this year set us back because of Spring Creek. We used that for our big event, and putting 550 people in there packed is a stretch in this day and time. Also, some of our entertainers are very, very concerned about events like that, and certainly at Schrader Hall, where they have the same thing. Whether it's true or not, it's perception to
Yes, sir.
every person, and we had to respect that. So we just said we're going to postpone it. We can kick the can down the road a little bit, but we still need help.
So yeah, you still got the need, even though you don't
Absolutely.
have how can we help? Tell folks how they can help.
There's only 3 ways that with it. We have a raffle that's going on. We have a virtual auction that's online right now, and you can go to bluebonnetyouthranch.org and
Or the Blue Bonnet Youth Ranch Facebook page. The link is there as well.
The link is there. It'll show you the items. They're adding items every day. There's some great items on there. And the other thing is just send a check to P.O. Box 90, Yoakum, Texas, and that helps.
It'll get there. You put BYR P.O. Box 90. That check will get there.
It'll get there.
So
Excuse me.
you were excited about an item that you added last week to the auction. Tell us about that one. I teased it a little bit Friday, but you've got probably some better details than I do.
Well, we have an auction item where you can be a movie star. There's being a movie produced in Austin, Texas. One of the investors is a guy by the name of David Phillips. And David has been a supporter of Blue Bonnet for some time. And he said, we will make sure that they can be in the movie. And
Pretty cool.
pretty cool. Now, they can't guarantee that it's going to be in the scene. Because I remember, like, my wife and a bunch of friends went to Hallettsville to try out and try to get a part in the best little whorehouse in Texas when they had all the people there. And many people.
Some of those girls worked for months and never got a call back.
That's what they went over there, and they were there. Some of them were in the scenes, but they were all cut, except for 2 or 3 people, and that makes a big difference.
You know, he just gave me the flashback to Texas as a whorehouse. And he turned and that hat would come down. There's that Dom DeLuise. Is that who that was? So funny.
I wish I could tell you who is going to be in the movie, who is starring.
It's a big name. It's a big name.
It is a big name, and we can't really sit. He and she both have won Academy Awards.
See, and I
didn't
have
know
no-
the she.
I have no idea what I'm talking about here, but if it's in Austin and it's an Academy Award winner, I mean, it very well could be Matt McConaughey. I'm not saying it is because I don't know. Y'all haven't briefed me. I don't know.
I can't tell you either.
Can't release it, and we've heard all kinds of names. They can tell you all this stuff. The movie will be released. Shot sometime in the latter part of October. And,
It's awesome.
But go and look at some of the auction items.
Yeah, there's some pretty cool ones.
Some cool ones.
Very fun.
There's a great weekend in Lake Walden.
I'm trying to pull it up so I can.
Play the golf course there and stay in a condo for a couple of nights.
Well, you always have the Tapatio place. Super nice.
That's on the raffle, I think. The Tapatio is on the raffle. Because
George.
raffle tickets are available
There will
too.
be a package for added to the auction for Tapatio. Yes, I think Tapatio is sending us something.
Awesome.
Okay. There's a Willie Nelson signed guitar.
Oh yeah.
Jason Witten signed Dallas Cowboys helmet. A framed Tony Parker signed jersey. This one's pretty cool. You've got a 2-night stay at the IP Casino and Resort in Biloxi.
That is good because you can get there and then you can still have a great time.
Houston Rodeo package, Stony LaRue package at Schrader Hall. They've got
That'd
a
be a
nice
good show.
handcrafted porch swing.
Nice.
Yeah. So a
There's
lot of
there's
good
an
stuff.
item in there that I think is special if you are a Willie Nelson fan and a Johnny Bush fan. You know, Johnny Bush wrote the song Whiskey River that Willie pretty well opens every show with. And Johnny
Oh, I just
was
saw it, yep.
awarded a certificate from the Country Music Association and BMI for 3 million airplays of,
In that song.
and he wrote the words, and it's framed and it's signed by Johnny Bush.
That's very cool. You know, when you go back to that, remember he had Marty Robbins had El Paso City, and then a second one that was just the same song. The last time I saw Mr. Bush was at Schrader. He was Me to You, and I remember him singing Whiskey River, and then he basically said something about I wrote that, and Willie did it. It's been recorded a bunch of times, and he said, I'm so grateful for. And then he basically said something like Whiskey River still take my mind. Like he did another version of the same song. Said I'm going to try to get that one to him.
He always says, Willie, keep singing it because it puts money in my mailbox.
That's right.
Exactly.
And it does.
Yeah, I guarantee
You
it.
know, when Johnny made his last,
Rob Pupey just put the link to the auction in the chat. on
Oh,
the
very
Facebook
good.
page.
Thank you, Rob.
when Johnny was here the last time, which was, I guess 3 years ago before he died, it was interesting to see him. He came out on stage 3 times. Not only did he come out and do his singing, he walked over to little Larry Robinson on the drums with George Chambers and told him to get off stage, and he played drums at 80-something years old.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we had the big fiddle play, he shows up on stage and plays the fiddle.
It was something else.
Amazing.
Yeah.
He played the second golf tournament in Yoakum, which would be 39 years ago, 38 years ago, I guess. I don't know how many years. And in the middle of that round of golf, he stopped and said, I'm not going to play for the next 2 holes. And he started writing a song. I don't know what it was.
Unbelievable.
When it hits them, they write it.
Isn't that something?
Crazy.
Anyway, we appreciate you guys
We're proud to be associated with it.
and appreciate all your help.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you. All the
What are the plans for the golf tournament and the Celebrity Showdown, the big show at Schrader Hall?
We're looking at April or May.
Okay, good.
Is the dates that we are looking at.
Well, I know you will, but give us a heads up, and we'll make sure that the crowd shows up. It'll be a great time. It always
We're gonna
is.
have a great time with it. The thing that I really want to impress people to is that, and thank Victoria, is not only for your generosity to Blue Bonnet, but your generosity to these entertainers that come in. It is amazing how they feel welcome in Victoria, Texas. You have made a real difference.
That's awesome.
Janie Fricky comes in, she sings her song, she comes out. She went out the last time she was here and danced with somebody that she didn't know. They
Right.
said, will you dance with? Yeah. They feel comfortable and safe in this environment. And
It's good folks. Good folks around here.
And they don't do it, and they don't get paid.
They don't get paid.
It's something that they donate their time like that too, and their talent. It's an amazing thing.
We were going to miss Janie this year. She had said she was coming, and then she canceled. Actually, on the Tuesday morning after, well, I guess it would have been the 8th or 10th. I don't know what the date really was. She's going to be doing a special on Lee Greenwood. They're doing a special in Nashville that will be on ABC, CBS, NBC. I don't know, one of the stations, one of the majors. It's going to be a major production.
Well, 2 of your friends, Mr. Red Stegall, and much more aggressively, Mr. Gary Morris, both tried to take Dawn from me. Now, Mr. Morris was adamant that Dawn should leave me and go on the rest of his tour on his bus with him.
Hey, speaking, right now you mentioned Gary Morris. He is bringing his Christmas tour to Victoria, December the second.
He's
at the
awesome.
Welder Center.
Nice. Is that part of the, no?
No, it's just that we've tried to get it for about 5 or 6 years, but we've never been able to put the Welder Center together. And this year he's doing Houston, I think Austin and Brenham, and we had a date, and the Welder Center was open, so it's
We had
That's going to be a phenomenal way to kick off the Christmas season.
you know I'm just trying to think of the hotel on the Loop where all the talent stays. We had that
Suites.
Yeah, and we had that big circle sing around deal. And of course, everybody they just kept making the circle bigger. We were all sitting in the circle. I knew better than to sing. But Gary Morris and Frank Gilligan and one other guy, and I think you were still there. They sang the old Dave Loggins song, Please Come to Boston, a cappella in that acoustic. And even I just got a chill thinking about it. In that moment, they were like, this is pretty good. I mean, it was kind of like, of course, I mean, Gary Morris has been entertainer of the year. He's just had, almost had as close to an operatic voice as you're going to find in country music. He would hate being stereotyped that way.
Any music.
Yeah, he doesn't, and Gilligan with that beautiful tenor voice that you don't expect to come out of that giant of a man. And I can't remember who the third guy was. It was a young guy. And we just sat there just literally blown away at the talent that was in that room, minus me and Dawn. Dawn doesn't sing either. But Gary Morris was like, come on, go on the bus. Let's go.
I used to could go till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning like they do, or 5 o'clock. About 1:30 is not limit.
They're done. Yeah, I understand. Well, hey,
anyway, thank you guys.
Thanks
love
a
you,
lot.
sir.
Appreciate everything.
Come back and see us anytime. And you don't have to wait till the next Ryder Cup. Come on back.
Well, maybe I'll play in the next Ryder Cup.
How about total U.S. domination? Great to see you,
19-9
sir.
this year.
Take care.
Always. Yes, sir. That's our buddy Claude Jacobs. He's great. Does so much and always deflects the publicity and the accolades. And so common among the great donators of time and stuff that it's not about them. It's never been about him. When he first called me, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, and we first talked about trying to help with the events and stuff. It was from the very first conversation, it was all about the kids. And he's a fine gentleman and still a much better golfer than I.
Absolutely.
For sure.
You couldn't shoot his age.
No, and I want to make that's a legitimate point. I couldn't shoot his age. Tracy Price, faithful listener, great friend, chimed in that today's her birthday, and we both say so.
We don't do
birthdays. And if we did, we would say happy birthday, Tracy.
I'm trying to find that the auction item for the movie. The current bid is $750.
That's a great deal. If they're guaranteeing
yeah.
you a spot in the movie, that's worth $1,000. Torn Bales would be discovered in that movie. Can you imagine if TB walked in there wearing probably something black, maybe some Adidas, just walked in there freshly shaved,
looking like he'd kick somebody's butt?
Right?
Yeah.
Looks like Jason Statham, but taller.
They've got a guitar signed by pretty much everybody that's ever played the Bluebonnet.
It's
up for grabs.
We've laughed about in the past that when they have the concert, you couldn't afford to throw that party.
No.
I mean, if everybody that came wanted $25,000, it's a $10 million concert.
Absolutely.
It's just crazy.
Yeah. And there's been some great ones through the years.
Absolutely.
And the sad thing is they're not getting any younger. So if you miss one, you may never see them again.
So see, it took us 20 minutes to do that. Jennifer Rayburn sums it up with one comment. Claude is such a class act. There
Absolutely.
You go. Speaking of class act, Atzenhofer.com. Atzenhofer for Chevy, Cadillac, Mazda, Mitsubishi, used vehicles, all service, all makes and models. They'll help you. They'll paint and body shop you till you're happy. They'll inspect your vehicle. They'll change your windshield. They'll change your tires. Reach out to Atzenhofer. And I've got a service appointment. This is what's nice about them, folks. I have Dawn's vehicle needs a little love, and it's going to go in tomorrow. They said, well, just get it to us when you can. And when we're done, we'll take it back to her. I said, okay, there you go. So somebody said we just lost our Facebook audio. Sorry. White Trash Services, 550-1826. If you reach out to BJ Nelson and her team at White Trash, you'll find that they will be there, whether you need a roll-off dumpster for a huge job you're doing or you need weekly trash service in the 7 contiguous counties. They are your go-to. The law offices of Steve Kidder. Don't make mistakes you don't have to make. Involve an attorney who has your best interest at heart. Let him help you with a contract or an adoption or the dissolving of a partnership, the creation of a partnership, trust, wills, probates, all that stuff. He does it all. He is awesome. The law offices of Steve Kidder. And then the complete 360 right here, the health bar right here on Red River, right next to Woodlawn Bowl, is phenomenal. They have bowls, jasmine rice, and different proteins and different greens. It's
Good stuff.
super good stuff.
I
It's
like
super
paninis
healthy.
personally.
They have paninis. They have wraps. They have, of course, smoothies. They have smoothies at the North location too, next to Buffalo Wild Wing. We quit chatting that one up so much because they're going to meld down here. But if you're on the north side of town at lunch and you're in a hurry, you go in there, you can have a smoothie in 5 minutes that will give you all the protein you need for the meal. It's a meal replacement shake, if you will. And it's like $7 or $8. It's a great, great thing to do.
Should we keep going?
Yeah, well, we're at just real quick, folks, and thank you. Motto Mortgage, Terry Murray, 541-5454. Terry Murray will help you lower your monthly house payment. Same house, same taxes, lower interest rate, lower payment. Went services, went electrical, went generators, went plumbing, emergency, new construction, commercial, residential, remodeling. That's it. That's what they do.
You got an old home with outdated wiring, they'll fix that up for you as well.
And go to USA Concrete Coatings page today and see some updated photos.
Saw one yesterday. They took an old epoxy finish,
right,
that was bubbling, cracking. It was sort of a reddish rust color. Did not look good at all.
Right.
By the time they were done, fabulous job.
Now, did they take the old coating off?
Got rid of it and put a new one down. Yep.
How about that?
So
it's fantastic. They do a great job, and they're really great folks. 578 Home. That's Charlie Garcia. So, do you think I should be worried about this little pain that I've got like right there? It's right there.
Dawn punched you, didn't she?
No, I just don't know if it woke me up about 3:15. It's kind of, but it seems like it's above my breastbone. I don't know what it is.
I want to go get checked.
Could be a ventricle. If I'm not here tomorrow, I'm sure Caleb will be
more than willing,
chomping at the bit to be in here.
So
Cowboys play tonight.
Aggies lost to Arkansas. We called that one here.
I think I did call that. I'm pretty sure I called it.
Texas Clown stomped Tech. I thought that was going to be a closer game than it was.
I did too. They were bragging about that Tech had like the number 19 defense in the country. I mean, I get it. They played.
Now they got the number 119 defense after that game. Oh, 70 points, 72 points. What was
Let's just put it in perspective. The over and under on the game was 62.5 points, and Texas covered that by themselves. And the 35 points they gave up were mostly trash points. It was 63-7, I think, at one point, something like that. I don't know.
People were like, "Oh, we got a game." No, we really don't.
We really don't have a game.
70-35. That was the final score.
And the sad reality is that the Aggies, bless their hearts, and Jeff Balknight, he just sent.
Yeah, he's just confirming his appearance on the show tomorrow.
Hey, that's super. So our mayor, Jeff Balknight, will be in studio tomorrow. We won't ask him. See, Jeff's wife was a swimmer at Arkansas. And then, of course, Jeff is an Aggie and an engineer and a good one. Jeff is an Aggie. So at his house,
How unbearable was the weekend for him?
James Kerr, that's when my last checkup was. I had a physical in December.
Chris Raber, so that was a year ago, 10 months ago.
I'm okay.
Chris Raber says his indigestion. How about this guy? Ohio State linebacker decides he's not getting enough playing time during the game at Akron and just decides to walk away.
And so he quits during the game.
Yeah,
which
in the second quarter.
Very odd for not just a D1 athlete, but a Ohio State athlete. I mean, obviously this guy's a good player. He is a senior. He's predominantly been a backup through his career, but it was telling. He texted out or tweeted out, "Good luck, LUCC. Good luck." And then
good luck in his career when he can't spell luck.
Right. So that was an issue. But yeah, the coach said they asked the coach after the game, "Do you think his name is Day? The coach's name Day. Um, do you think this is indicative of a problem in your locker room?" And he said, "No." He said, "Hey, these are all great athletes. Everybody wants to play. There's only 11 spots on the field, and I think this is an isolated case of a disgruntled player. I think that's the right answer to give, but he might want to look around that locker room. I don't know. I'm hesitant. You and I did not agree on this, which probably means I'm wrong. But I did think it was interesting that the Aggies, in general, in my observation, had thought, well, here we are now. Last year we finished fourth in the SEC West. This past season we finished fourth in the country. We're rolling. We're going to put in Haynes King, and we're just going to go to the next level. We're fixing to beat Bama. This is our year. And I was like, nah, pump your brakes.
Well, but that's probably those idiots on Twitter, because some of the Aggie friends that I've got, they were concerned that their quarterback wasn't going to be where it needed to be.
And it's not. And their offensive line, they lost offensive linemen to the NFL. When you lose NFL quality offensive linemen, I hope the Aggies – I was going to say I hope the Aggies don't get too hard on Jimbo Fisher, but the Aggies, they just gave him another extension.
Here's the only good thing about suffering a loss in week 3 or 4. It won't derail your season as that loss would in week 9, 10, or 11.
Yeah, that's when they play Alabama. That's when they'll have that loss. And in between now and then, they'll have another loss. They're going to lose 3, like I said they will.
But at least early on, but nobody probably saw it against Arkansas. And Arkansas is legit, folks.
So I think Arkansas really is a contender in the SEC. I really do. Tell me this. Texas is not back. To me, Texas is on the tail end of the worst decade they've had in their history. But my question to you is, given that, sure, Texas should beat Rice, but they beat them 58-0 like the old days. Texas should beat Tech.
How old? Not back to the 1930s days.
No.
Rice was pretty good.
Back to normal. Texas has been so bad that I would have taken 42-35. Texas beats Rice, and I go, hey, a W's a W. That would have been my take. Now I'm like, hey, that was a pretty understood clown stomping. And then they play Tech, who was a little chirpy during the week about, oh, yeah, horns down. We'll see what happens on Saturday. And they just got throttled. And if you really want to look at it with a little spin that the homer in me has, the only time we really looked bad, not blaming a kid, was when Hudson Card was playing quarterback. When Casey Thompson came in, he moved the ball well against Arkansas. And the next thing you know, the horns are rolling.
To put Texas Tech's performance into perspective,
right?
Because they're all guns up, right?
Right.
If they would have been called upon to take care of that injured bull that was on John Stockbauer on Saturday, they would have needed 25 or 30 shots to finish the job.
We had a visit the other day, and somehow like DPD, I think, got blamed for there was a bull on Stockbauer, and I think a sheriff's deputy had to put him down. And but apparently there were a number of shots involved to actually get this animal on the ground.
Well, people couldn't understand that. You're talking about a 2,000, 2,500 pound animal.
Well, you don't shoot him in the hip. You have to walk up there. Sometimes you got to shoot him kind of between the eyes, I think is the gist.
Cows' heads are pretty darn hard too.
Yeah. I hate that they had to put him down.
Me too. And Cheryl and I would have probably taken it up.
You'd have probably taken it home.
Back to health.
Sure. Yeah. You'd have been proud yesterday, my kids, and this is in both you guys with your love for the pets. I don't know. It's tan, black face, tan, kind of like Stanley, but looks more like a shepherd mix of some type. Short hair though, very short haired dog. Showed up, maybe 35-pound dog, little skinny, had a collar on, no tags, and the boys came in. Dad, we gotta take care of this dog. Okay. I go out there. That dog's out there just eating that eating it. And he drank 2 bowls of water, and they were kind of like, hey, he was on the Terra Vista page last week. What I think he did is wandered over from Northcrest, and now he's like a tourist. He goes from house to house, and oh yeah, he's fattening up. He's just loping around. He was healthy.
Take care.
Good.
He was a little thin, but he wasn't ribby. He was healthy. So
James Kershouse wins the fundraising barbecue being hosted by VCSO after Saturday.
no kidding. The No Bull Barbecue. Come on out.
Watch out for that lead in there. It might break your teeth.
By the way, I'm going to go out on a limb and tell you, Friday, October the 8th, the brother man, with his amazing schedule, his unbelievable, unkeepable schedule, will make a flyby.
I will.
He will make a flyby to the Wade and Carter Boat Fest.
Well, is it a
party.
float by then?
Could be a float by. He'll come dock at the marina, sitting at the dock of the bay. Brother Gary Moses. So that Friday night would be a good night for y'all to be there. Hey, we're going to get out of here. The Hall of Famer, Ralph Salazar, along with his sidekick, the Festus of radio, Brother Gary Moses, the great one. They will be here, and we are done for today. We'll see y'all manana. Bye, folks.